If you talked to me this time last year, I don't think I'd be the best company, because I was working through some of these ideas, and I was looking at the reality of what the music industry is for women 50 and up. The last thing I want is, she gave a good show for 50. Forget that. Screw that. I want to give a good show. And then my daughter said to me, if you're telling me that you can't be as powerful as you were at 30, you're not 80, okay? You're not 80 yet. You're not there. You have a few more years to go out as a one-woman show. You have the stamina. I've seen you. Because if you don't grab this and you don't show what I know you can do, then you're telling me, what is the message you're telling me? And she had tears in her eyes. She said, you're telling me that at 50, what I have to look forward to is that I have to be a shadow of myself. And so she just looked at me and said, go rock. And the earth moved. And I looked at her and I thought, I know what I have to do. Yeah, that's a reference, without question. We met in 1991. So we began taking from each other, I guess, lines that would be said. It's hard to explain, we just were buddies. We were great pals and would talk endlessly about things. And so, of course, those thoughts that we had would end up in my work, and it was an exchange. And there's still a really lovely exchange. He's one of my best friends in the world. He's godfather to my daughter, Tash. Husband is a muse for me, Mark. He's very quiet and British, rides a motorcycle, Arsenal. And the last thing I think he ever thought would be happening to him is some woman would be talking about him globally. It's just the worst nightmare for him. And yet, he's one of the sound engineers, and here's it getting recorded. So when I'm singing these songs, I'm singing to him, and he's hearing them. He's the first one to hear them. So it's a strange relationship that we work together, and yet he's hearing these things, and they're about him. He's my boyfriend. He's the love of my life. And yet, as you know, to have a marriage for 16 years, we've been together almost 20 years, you're going to experience all kinds of things. And if you love each other enough, you work through it. But the idea that you're not going to experience things, people die in the family, that brings things up. When his father died, it was absolutely harrowing because his father was his best friend. So that surfaces in the song Invisible Boy. His dad was a publican, and we believe he's at the great pub in the sky pouring pints for people. But yes, he is a muse, and these songs do come up. Wedding Day, the idea that you can be so in love and yet you haven't been tested yet. Wedding Day, for many people, happens before you all have really had to walk that dark road, whether it's illness or death of a parent or miscarriages or many, many things that can challenge you in life, career changes, these little earthquakes that happen in our lives. Then the marriage is tested. And so the song was very much about a marriage being tested. But they do okay. The guys in Wedding Day, they come out all right. Turning 50 has been an incredible ride, moments of staring down the barrel of a gun, because it's a shift. It's a shift professionally, particularly if you are in front of the camera in the music industry, and how people see men turning 50. As we said, they're guys that are just now at the height of their magical powers. In the film world, Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp were the same circling age. And yet in my business, it's seen a little bit different for women. We're not necessarily thought of at the height of our magical powers sensually. So I've had to grab being at the height of my magical powers from this, an ability, because I'm under no illusions about what I look like. I'm okay. I'm not doing bad for my age. I'm fine, but I'm not 30, and I'm not going to pretend I am. So while I was involved in this and accepting where I am in my life, younger women would talk to me about what they were going through without realizing what I was going through necessarily. Somehow I just end up around conversations, teenagers talking about, we have to make a decision of what we're majoring in. We have to decide who we're going to be for the rest of our lives. And this shock horror of, business major? What am I doing? Okay, cut to the 20-somethings, conversations here in New York City with young women saying, okay, I owe a fortune. I've graduated. I can't get a job. My life is done. And I don't laugh because it's not a laughing matter in that moment, but I say, you're only 22. And they'll say, you have no idea what I'm dealing with. I can't get a job. I'm qualified. I don't know where to go. It's the end for me. I've made a mistake. I've screwed my life up. Then you talk to the 33-somethings and 33-ish people who are saying, I should get this promotion. But if I go and take time to have my family now, I'm not going to get this promotion. It was very humbling to take a step back and realize that each age had its challenges. And finally, I got to a place of, 50's not so bad.